it's Dale here. I thought I would show you another book that I made a wee while ago. Actually, I may have talked about it before, but I can never remember these things. I like to make little journals of all sorts. Sometimes they're with paper, sometimes they are stitched, sometimes they're with fabric, sometimes it just depends. Lots and lots of different techniques, so I don't stick to the one thing. But when we went to Morocco for a trip, which is a gorgeous, glorious country, these were the sort of colours that I came out with afterwards. I actually think it's a colour that by a different name, but it just suited the colours that I wanted for my trip. And I used I was working a lot with my embellishing machine, needle felting machine, which I was just about to start working on again today, and that's what reminded me of this. So I've used wool fibres, which I have embellished with the needle felting machine, and then I've cut them and I've woven them, as you can see, strips here to make my cover. And I've done a few other things on the cover. So around the edge was what I say quite often. I've stitched around the outside with buttonhole stitch, and I've used various things that I've had, so some cord to couch down, using thick threads to also couch down, to make little cords and so on, and machine wrapped cords to put things. You know, when you go away, you may not instantly remember what it is that you enjoy, but you've got all these things in your head and in your notebook and your sketchbook and things that come back to you. So here I've made machine wrapped cords and twisted them up into coils and so on. So that's my cover, and inside is another piece where this time I've used all my scraps, and you can see the bits of wool and scrim and so on everywhere. And I've left it a little bit like the buildings that you sometimes see, and it's reminded me of it. And I've used my flower stitch foot to create some circles in here as well. So it's scrim and the wool. It's not felt, it's actually just wool that I've used on the embellishing machine to make my felt, I suppose. And then I've used on my fabrics to make my pages inside. I've again used the same principle. And I collect paper napkins. So this is a paper napkin that I didn't actually buy in Morocco. I bought it in Claremont in Western Australia. But I've used part of those, the parts of the paper napkin, and I've stitched them and I've bonded them to felt and put them onto here. And then, as you can see, I've used hand stitching and other things on that one. In the back part, I've used, again, the paper napkins under there, but I've taken part of the paper napkin and made a grid from it, which is what I like to do. So you've got that layering, which is always fairly important there, and leave parts of it in, take parts of it out. I've used a metallic thread, which just suits what I'm doing. Bit of hand stitching, and again, just to link it all together. And the next page again has got like the M for Morocco. We loved going to Morocco. We loved Marrakesh. It was just fabulous. And I've woven again, and to make that page. The next page I've used, that was where we stayed down there. So it's a photo that I took. And over the top I've done an overlay with silk organza and written on it Marrakesh. And then for my outside, I've knitted with a silk thread. It's a textured silk thread, and used it to make a frame for my piece. So it's just a bit of depth, and it was like depth. It was like going down into that area. And then this is another photo that I took in Marrakesh, or Ian took it, and I printed it onto a piece of Everlon and stitched it onto backing. My inside of my backing is felt and so on. I've made a paper cast with water-soluble paper over a stamp that I had, and I've used, there's my wool, that's wool again on the embellisher going around, not felt, but it's dry felted with the needle felter. And then on the back of this, I've again woven, but I've done it in rows to sort of show the patterns that I saw and things like that. And then for the back cover, I've again, as you can see, I've used, I've got metallic flakes and things under there, and I've layered strips over the top to make these, again with the embellishing machine. And then I have plaited with some of my yarn to make a grid structure. So that's another good thing you can do to make a grid. And then I just stamped with some of my stamps Marrakesh and bits and pieces that I collected. And the back part is again woven. This is worked on Kuhn felt. This part it's Marrakesh stitched down there, and the Kuhn felt's been burnt away. And again I've got these. And to finish off, I have, as here you can see, the machine wrap cords that link everything together. And in the middle I've twisted them, wound them up, and it's all my cords just knotted and knotted and knotted and knotted to make a really nice textured finish inside. And of course I've used the flower stitch foot to make the big holes and things to thread it all through. So it becomes a little valuable reminder of your holiday, and something you can keep. So it's something different that I've done from other things that I might have done. So I hope that's given you a few little ideas. I'll see you again another time. Bye.